Hello there. How are you? How are you? How are you? We have a wonderful guest today. Nobody knows this woman. She's new to the game, you know. Betsy Sheeran, Town Clerk.
Right.
And this is our first program of the 2019 season.
Right, right.
You know, January 3rd. I'm dating the movie, dating the show now, which
Right.
normally we don't do that, but.
Right.
I figure you're our first guest for 2019. I
Thank
had to
you so
mention
much.
that.
I feel honored. And
Yes,
Happy New
you
Year to
should.
you and all your staff.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
And it looks like the job's done well. You're still sane.
Alive and kicking, reasonably sane, right? Everything's relative.
Everything is relative. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing every year, right? Just over and over again.
It is, but there's always a few little,
know.
quirks that jump in. You
A
never know.
few, huh?
Yeah, just a few.
I don't think it's more than a few, but you do have a great staff, and wish them all the same.
None better.
Yeah.
None better than Rosemary Morgan and Denise Oates, and
Yeah.
it's a joy to work with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have I refer to it as a well-oiled machine. We really get along personally and professionally,
Yep.
and it's just great.
And you get it done.
Get it done,
Get it
absolutely.
done. I mean, very little downtime there.
No,
I mean,
there's
I
no
go by
downtime.
once in a while to go upstairs for something. I don't even bother you because you're always
There's always
something's
something. It's a
going
very
on there.
cyclical type thing.
Yeah.
We just finished with one thing and another
Another
thing will
thing.
come up.
Yeah.
And there are certain things we do annually, of course, and
Yeah.
I'll get into some of those now.
And speaking of annually, I think you have some notes there.
Yes, I
for
do.
Some of the things you want to go over.
Yes, certainly. I thought, although it was in the Wakefield item last night, and it's on our webpage today, the information, yesterday was the first day at 8 o'clock when candidates and aspiring, and people that are aspiring to serve the town could pull papers for the
Right.
April 23rd election. And yesterday, as of right now, these are the people who have taken out papers for positions, and in the order in which they took them out, I will take, first of all, Philip Corsi of 4 Pine Hill Circle took out papers yesterday morning for the Wakefield Municipal Gas and Light Department Board of Commissioners. There were 2 openings there, and so far, two people have taken out papers for that position. I'll get to the second gentleman. And then in one fell swoop, Ian McGonigal Santos of 39 Converse Street pulled papers for a re-election bid for the town council, followed by Tony Longo, Anthony Longo,
Yep.
of 15 Fell Street. He also pulled papers, as did Peter J. May, the current chairman. Tony Longo is the vice chairman, present vice chairman.
Yeah.
Peter May is the chairman of 12 Garden Lane, and he pulled papers yesterday, re-election bid, followed by Jonathan Chines of
Okay.
34 Hopkins Street, who has also pulled papers for town council. Now, there are 3 openings there.
That's
So
interesting,
as of
yeah.
right now, there are 4 going for 3 positions, 3
Okay.
incumbents and Mr. Chines. And then Mr. Chines was followed by Thomas Botcher of 25 Wakefield Avenue, and he pulled papers for the Municipal Gas and Light Department Board of Commissioners, so there are now 2,
Two, so they-
neither of whom are incumbents. And then this morning, Richard Baird of 28 Yale Avenue pulled papers for constable. And so that's who we have as of right now. That have
So
taken
how
up
many
papers.
other positions are open besides what you've just told us?
Well, there are several open. I'll be happy to.
Yeah. I don't mean to throw you a curve here. I just popped
No
into my
problem.
head.
It's right here. This is the packet in which
Yeah.
every one of them, and the positions and the board and the number of positions open and the length of the term, they get in their packet, which is also on our website,
Yeah.
on the town clerk's website. So town council, the term is 3 years, and there are 3 positions open, and the present officials are in alphabetical order, because this is how they would be on the ballot. Anthony J. Longo, Peter J. May, and Ian McGonigal Santos.
So
Town
those are
treasurer.
full. Those are filled at this point. Oh, there's 4 positions?
There's 4 people going now for 3
Oh,
positions.
Okay.
there's-
Oh, there you go. Right.
Okay?
Okay.
I'm just giving you the incumbents.
Yeah.
The town treasurer is a 3-year term, and that's 1 position open, and the present official is John J. McCarthy Jr. Moderator, town moderator is open. That's a 1-year position as of right now, and there's 1 position, and William Harbison Carroll is the present official, but town meeting voted to make that a 3-year term, so that will get voted on in April for next year. But right now, this is a 1-year term.
Still 1 year, okay.
School committee, 3 years. There are 3 people, 3 positions that will be open, and the present officials are Greg Liakos, chair, Thomas F. Markham III, vice chair, and Ronald J. Massey Jr. Those are the 3 incumbents, but no one's pulled papers for school committee as of this moment, right now.
Yeah.
Then library trustees, that's a 3-year term. There are 3 openings, and the incumbents, or the present officials, are John Havlicek Jr., Timothy F. Healy, and Jeffrey Michael Quinn. Then we have the planning board, which is a 5-year term. 1 position open, William Spalding. Then we go to the Board of Health, which is a 3-year term, and there's 1 opening. That's a 3-person board, and that's Elaine M. Silva.
Okay.
And then the Board of Assessors, which is a 3-year term. 1 position open, Walter Schofield. And then the Gas and Light Commission is 3-year term, 2 positions open, and the incumbents are Kevin T. Haggerty and Wayne M. Tarr. And then constables, it's a 3-year position, a 3-year term, 2 positions open, Gerald Alterio Jr. and Richard Baird. Those are the incumbents right now.
Okay.
And somebody questioned that it was in the paper incorrectly, that it was a 2-year term for the Board Gas and Light Commissioners. But the way, as you can see on the sheet, it's 3 years, 2 openings, and I think they thought it was a 2-year term, but whatever. And that's in the packet. Everyone who comes to pull papers gets a packet, and in the packet is the campaign finance guide, which is 24 pages long. That's in there. List of the vacancies, key election dates to remember, campaign finance filing dates to remember, then the 150-foot rule where you have to be 150 feet away from the entrance to a polling place by law, if you're going to hold signs or banners or whatever. The municipal forms for filling out the campaign finance reports, that's all in there. And also the homepage for the any of the information that's needed here if they lose any of the packets. But everything's in here to get them going, and it's all set and ready to go.
Okay, so that just opened up, right?
Yesterday morning at 8.
Yesterday morning, and
Right.
When do they? Am I jumping ahead? When does it close?
Last day to pull papers, right here. Last day to obtain nomination papers is Friday, March 1st, 2019, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So instead of closing at 12:30 in the afternoon, we have to be open until 5. And the last day to submit your nomination papers, Tuesday, March 5th, again till 5 o'clock. Last day to file nomination papers, Tuesday, March 19th till 5 o'clock. And on Thursday, March 21st is the last day to withdraw nomination papers. Some people change their mind.
Right.
All right? And we're open then until 5, well, we're open until 7 that night anyway, but at 5 o'clock it stops. Now, I can't send out a ballot to be printed until after that date.
Right.
I can have
'Cause somebody might change their
I can
mind,
have
right?
it ready to go, assuming
Yeah.
that everything's as it stands, but if somebody pulls their name, I've got to get that off there. And then something very important, the last day to register to vote in the April 23rd town election is Wednesday, April 3rd at my office, from 8 in the morning till 8 at night.
All right, that's the late
And that's
night,
the
yeah.
last day to register to vote for that election, if they're not registered voters here in town, or we're from another town, or they're newly registered voters. But we keep up with the registrations that come through the DMV or through the mail every day. We keep up with that, so it's right up to date. So that's
that.
that's that for the town election and the campaign guide, and and we're there for anybody's questions. Now, also they get nomination papers, and I'm making sure that everyone is putting his or her name up there exactly as they are registered to vote. Their name, and then they sign to say they accept the nomination. And they need 50 signatures.
Okay.
That's it, 50 signatures of registered voters within this community. And as I explained to them, and I will explain to everyone, and Denise and Rose will as well, when people sign, I mean, to say it's penmanship is an abuse of the word penmanship. It's a scrawl, it's a this, it's a that, you can't read it. I need, in parentheses, the name printed.
Yeah.
We have no idea who these people are. Now, can we guess? Maybe if we saw the address and everything, and we can look it up by address, but I know the intent is there, but I ask people, just have them print their name so we can make it, easy for them.
Legible, yeah.
So then when they bring it in, we can certify the signatures, as long as they get 50, let them know that they're good to go, they don't need any more, and then everything's fine. And we keep that, on file naturally.
So do you have a place where they can sign and then print, or is it just
There's enough space to sign their scrawl, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
And then in parentheses, just
print the name.
print their name,
Yeah,
because it's amazing.
yeah.
To say they're a signature is just, it's unbelievable.
All right, let me ask you a question then. Are all these forms already done up? The people take these forms to get the signatures?
They're all set. We printed them out.
You already did it. I was just thinking that if you hadn't done that, I don't know if you could do this, but you have a place where they could sign, and then below it say print your name.
Well,
way-
they're actually official ones. No, we're telling the people, and it's a town election, so they're going to know the people that they're going to,
Okay.
99% of the time asking to sign. And they get 3 sheets, and there's 32 spaces on each sheet, so that
Okay.
gives them 96
Yeah.
spots that they can get almost double what they need. And then once they come in, they're certified by the 3 registrars and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're good to go.
Okay.
They're good to go. They're all set, and then let the games begin.
We had some new people move in, this year. That's when you had this library, had the 101
Yes,
for the new people who have arrived in town.
right.
So this would be good for them to listen to what you're saying to
Well,
make
this
sure
is
they
it.
register.
Yeah, they had changed the date. I was going
Yeah.
to the one that was going to be on November 3rd, I think it was. 3rd was a Saturday. Then that date got changed, and I already had plans for the other one, so I couldn't
Yeah.
go. But yeah, we get newly registered people just about every day. The mistake that people make is, and heaven knows I came into this problem, people move into town, they change their address with the post office.
Mm.
Well, that doesn't mean a thing. That doesn't mean you're registered to vote here.
Yeah.
The feds have absolutely nothing to do with registering people to vote here. The DMV does, motor
Yeah.
vehicles, that's one thing. But people can do it online, they can come in, they can do it through the, when they renew their license, go to the AAA, but not through the post office. It can't be done, which also brings me to the census, which is going to be coming out.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's a beauty.
Yeah, it is a beauty.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Words can't describe it. When they come in by the big white bucketfuls from the tires, they, oh. But anyway,
Here we go.
here we go again. In the middle of December, we had everything ready to go.
Yeah.
Because a company does, they probably do, there are 351 municipalities in this state. They probably do the great majority of them. And I put ASAP, and I gave them a drop-dead date. I want them out as
Yeah.
soon as possible, because as soon as we get them out, we can get them back. But in big letters right on it, it says you can't change your party registration. That's the first thing. You cannot register to vote there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
people will put this in, and we can't get back to them constantly. We don't have their phone numbers if they choose not to put them in. But that can't be done. But if someone doesn't return his or her census as a family, right, for 2 consecutive years, the state, we don't, but the state makes them inactive voters.
They drop them, huh?
And then when they come in to vote, they're listed as inactive. They have an I next to their name.
Oh.
And some people don't like that. They take it personally, and we explain it. Now, they can vote, because we have 2 different ways that they can vote, but they have to return them. It's just the way it is. And 2020 is going to bring the federal census, which is very important, because the
That's a
federal
biggie, yeah,
government is the only one that can shift any of the precincts around by population.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we can't do that. But the census will be hitting, hopefully, this is what, the 3rd, I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks it hits in town, to include the dog licensing, which is at the bottom of the
Yep.
census. We're asking for everyone's email again. And you have 2 dogs, I think. 2 dogs. And
Thanks for not going there.
I'm not even going to go down that path.
Right.
But just because a dog has a microchip does not mean
Yeah.
that it's registered. You may know where it is. It's like a low jack. But state law says your dog should be registered in town. And we ordered new little tags. We alternate the color and the shape and everything. So they should be in, we ordered them at the beginning of December. And they should be in hopefully within a few days. But they'll beat the census, so
Yeah.
that will be fine. And then we'll get inundated with dog licenses, close to 1,500, as well as the census coming in and being updated, or people changing their occupation or
Yeah.
whatever, or people that have moved. We get a lot of those back with no forwarding address. As long as they're out of town, that's one thing. But I can't stress enough the fact that they cannot change their party affiliation, nor can they register to vote on a census form. It just can't be done.
Yeah.
And we get them in and out if they come in the office, or as I said, they can do it online, through the mail, whatever. We can move it out very quickly. So that takes care of the census
The dogs.
and the dogs.
Yeah.
See, this is almost like deja vu.
Yeah.
You know, every year, January, this is what hits in January. And I gave you the last day to register to vote, which is April 3rd. That's a Wednesday. We're open till 8 o'clock that night. Also, I sent an email to probably 50 people, I would say, a group email. Campaign finance reports are due, the end of the year. I need them within the next 11 days. But I gave them a heads up. I think I sent it out at the end of November. Do your finance report, get it in. Now, some people think that if they're still serving and they have no money in their account, some people don't raise money.
Yeah.
All right. They still have to file. There's a form you file.
Yeah.
If you have money in your account, your campaign account, you must file this. And then we scan them and put them on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Not to shame anybody, we just have to do it.
Yeah, it's public.
It's public information,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Are there any limits to how much money you can
Raise?
accumulate? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
no, not at all. There's limits on how much you can donate to a campaign.
Yeah.
And they're different. They're different for local, state, federal. There's just so much you can give individually per year
Yeah,
to such
yeah.
and such a thing, you know. And as the scope, I guess, of the position is larger, the larger amount you can give, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that can be done. And, yeah, so that takes care of that. And people are good. They're bringing them in. We clock them in.
Mm-hmm.
I put them right into their file because we keep a file for everybody. And again, as I said, it's public information. Speaking of which, the Freedom of Information Act, which 2 years this month, it
Yeah.
came into law 2 years ago, yes, the bane of my existence, is alive and well. You know, people asking for information. And there's a portal they should go through. And it comes on, you know, the Tinkers to Evers to Chance type thing. You may want something from Department of Public Works, say.
Yeah.
But you have to come through me. I then go to Ricky Stinson. Ricky Stinson gets it back to me. I get it back to you. And the clock starts ticking 10 days as soon as I open that up,
Mm-hmm.
that email up. Now, if there's an issue where we can't get our hands on that information, or it takes an extreme length of time to find, you know, to reference it and find it and get it back to them, I can let the person, the requester, know,
Yeah.
look, it's going to be a couple of extra days, but we're working on it. And I haven't had a problem with anybody, actually. They're very understanding, and we usually turn them over within 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And get them in, get them out, here's the information. The drawback on that is we have a lot of companies, we don't know who's requesting it, because it could come through as johnsmith@gmail. We have no idea. And I find that a lot of times we're looking up information free that a paralegal would be looking up normally.
Oh, okay.
Because you can kind of figure out where it's coming from, the type of business it might be, or an attorney's office, and
Yeah,
we're doing their work for them, actually. But it's the law, and get
Yeah,
it over with. I have a laptop hooked up at home, and the IT, Mark O'Malley, who's dynamite, he's great. The whole department is fantastic, Todd Bowden and his crew. And Mark O'Malley works on the elections with me, but he hooked it up so that I can get into my town email at home. And I do it
Oh.
constantly, so that I see something comes in, bang, I get it out to the appropriate departments, and I'll have it back the next day. And I can't thank the great majority of them go to building, public works, and the fire department, 'cause it's usually about safety and inspections
Yeah.
on property. And I can't tell you how wonderful Rick Stinson, Chief Sullivan, and Jackie Roberto are. They get everything right back to me. And then send it off.
That's good.
file it,
Yeah.
and it's on its merry way. It was nice because the legislature voted in, as I said, 2 years ago, it went into effect, and they exempted themselves, which I thought was very nice of them to do.
Of course.
You know, what are you going to do? It's the way it is.
You know what? Are you pretty much through everything you want right now?
Sure.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. How did the voting go at the Galvin?
Excellent. We've had 3 there.
Yeah, and I personally thought it was amazing. I did. I mean, I'm going on saying, you know, I really thought
You're going
it was
on record.
I am.
I
you
like
know, And
that.
I usually
I
keep
know.
pretty clear of that stuff, but I thought it was fantastic.
I will tell
It's
you,
just my opinion, obviously.
I could name probably 5 people in this town
Yeah.
that could run an election from start to finish. 5. And I'll count myself, Rose Morgan, Denise Oates, and 2 other people who I don't have to name right now. Other than that, I don't think anybody in this town realizes what it takes to run an election. It is absolutely, I didn't know until
Yeah.
2.5 years ago. It is unbelievable because I get there at 5 in the morning, all right? Get home maybe at 10:30 that night, straight through. There's no stopping. You can't stop because you just can't. It's the way it goes. The people that work the elections are fine. People don't realize how much centralizing this thing has made it easier for the voter. I know some don't believe that.
Yeah.
I know they don't, and they never will. And I stay right off Facebook because there's nothing I'm.
Yeah.
All right. I don't answer. I don't, make excuses or anything else. It goes so smoothly. We can certify an election within 24 hours. We expect the poll workers to work they meet me at 6:15 in the morning. And they don't get out of there. And didn't get out of there when they worked at 4 separate places. They'd have to come back to town hall, dragging this stuff and suitcases full of information, and then not certify, but line up all of the information to make sure everything was correct in each of the precincts, then feed it to us. We'd be talking, these people wouldn't get out till 9:30, 9:45 at night. That's a long day.
And they're not young people.
Tommy, you're 4 days older than I am, all right? And our youth, that ship sailed a long time ago. No, they're not. No, they're not.
And,
No, they're not.
most
they're
of them
not.
aren't. I mean, I'm sure you have young.
I mean, we're not ageists, obviously.
Yeah.
And but we did have 4 high school students work, and that was an eye opener for them. I wore them right down. Their energy was sapped very quickly. But I mean, these people don't even get a break. We couldn't get in the special election year. I could give them a break, but in the September 4th primary and in the general, I'm talking straight through.
Yeah.
There was one girl that brought in candy, and that was like a filet mignon. Anything, we'll take
Give me some
anything.
energy,
And I
yeah.
broke my wrist the morning of the.
Yes. Yeah.
Went, had to put in a cast and came back. You
Just
don't
came
have
back.
any choice,
No.
But people do not realize some of the issues that do come up.
Yeah.
They just don't understand it. And,
Well,
and it's easy to criticize.
Yeah.
But
it
walk
is.
a mile in my shoes,
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I personally, again, will say that I thought it was great. It ran smooth for me, and this makes sense. And
It's 100% smoother than it
Yeah.
was, through nobody else's fault.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
fact that we had 4 satellite places.
Yeah.
The thing that holds people up, and they don't realize it is, they may have known where they voted prior,
yeah.
but they don't know which precinct they're in, and 3 of the places were double precincts.
Oh, that's right.
So 2 and 3 were at the Crystal Community Club. Well, I used to vote at the Crystal, but are you 2 or 3? If people know their precinct, it's in and it's out.
Yeah.
The easiest ones would I'd go out and I'd say to the line, if you voted at the Most Blessed Sacrament, because that was just precinct 4, go right in.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had to look people's names up. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
holds it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So the thing is that on their census lists right above their name a number, 1 through 7. That's your precinct. Write it down.
See? Now that-
Save it.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to vote. And it really helped with the people within the community that moved from one precinct to another. We didn't have to say, get in your car and drive across town or whatever. and we can just say, no, it's 2 precincts
Right.
to your right here. You know, you can just go right there. So that was good too. So it was, you know, interesting at best. But as I said, unless you've run an election, and up until, as I said, 2.5 years ago, I had no idea what it took. I thought I knew,
Yeah.
but until you work it,
And
holy
you didn't,
moly.
you know, we got a few minutes left
Right.
here, but you didn't have any training in this either. I mean, you
No.
had to get
No.
out there and do it, all, you know,
Oh, yeah.
all by yourself.
Right.
Not by yourself,
No,
but I
no,
mean,
no. Oh, no, thank God
didn't
for
go to
Rose
school
and
for
Denise.
this.
Oh, no, you don't go to school. You don't take a, you know,
No.
Town Clerk 101 for this. But I will say this. Secretary of State Galvin's people that work in there, particularly Michelle Tassinari, who's his legal counsel, they are unbelievable. And Howard, I don't know his last name, at the help desk.
Yeah.
All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, we ran into this, bing, bing, bing. I do it all on email because I want it in print when it comes back. And I think that, you know, this election will go smoothly. And bit by bit, change is difficult for some people.
Yeah.
It just is. You know, I mean, people don't like change. I get that. But sometimes it's, if you'll just take a step back and say, you know, it's only one day. People will wait in line for a concert. They will wait in line for a restaurant. For a movie. They'll wait in line. They'll drive all over Market Street or the malls to find a parking spot. Just give me one day.
One day,
I'm
that's
begging
it.
you, you know, not you, but, you know, give me one day so, you know.
Well, we're running out of time here,
Yes.
and a lot of good information. I
Thank
mean,
you.
and I'm glad you updated it because, like you say, it may be repetitious, but it does change, and there are some new, people have to be reminded
That's right.
about what's going on.
People have a lot going on in their lives, Tommy, you know, and it's just the way it is. But we try very hard to make things easier for people. And 99.99% of the people understand perfectly, and it's fine, you know.
Okay, nice
Yeah.
talking with
Nice
you
to
as
see you
usual.
again. I hope you have a
and
wonderful year here at
too.
WCAT, and your fantastic staff. and-
We'll keep it banging and out, I hope, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, Happy New Year.
All right, thank you, you too.
Thank you.